Elementary Science Class 7. Reproduction in Plants. Modes of reproduction. Did you know that plants have different ways of reproducing themselves?
No, I didn't know that. How do plants reproduce?
There are two main types of plant reproduction, asexual and sexual. In asexual reproduction, new plants are obtained without the production of seeds.
That's interesting. Can you give me an example of asexual reproduction?
Sure, one type of asexual reproduction is called vegetative propagation. This is where new plants are produced from the roots, stems, leaves, and buds of the parent plant.
Wow, so the new plants are exact copies of the parent plant.
Exactly. Plants produced through vegetative propagation take less time to grow and bear flowers and fruits earlier than those produced from seeds.
That's really fascinating. What about sexual reproduction?
In sexual reproduction, new plants are obtained from seeds. Flowers are the reproductive parts of plants, and they play a crucial role in this process.
I see. So flowers are responsible for producing the seeds that grow into new plants.
Yes, that's right. Plants produced through sexual reproduction have characteristics of both parents, unlike the asexual reproduction where the new plants are exact copies of the parent. Asexual reproduction. Yeast is a single-celled organism, and it reproduces through a process called budding. A small bulb-like projection, called a bud, forms on the parent cell, and gradually grows and detaches to form a new yeast cell.
Wow, that's fascinating. So the new cell can then go on to produce more buds.
Exactly. The new yeast cell can grow, mature, and produce even more yeast cells through this budding process. This allows yeast to multiply quickly if they have enough nutrients available.
That's amazing. What about other organisms? Do they have similar ways of reproducing?
Yes, there are other forms of asexual reproduction as well. For example, some algae can reproduce through fragmentation, where the organism breaks up into smaller pieces that grow into new individuals.
I see, so the fragments can just keep growing and multiplying. What about fungi and other plants?
Fungi, like the ones that grow on bread, reproduce through spores. These spores are lightweight and can travel long distances, allowing the fungi to spread quickly. And plants like moss and ferns also use spores for reproduction. Sexual reproduction. Did you know that flowers are the reproductive parts of plants?
Yes, I did. The stamens are the male reproductive parts, and the pistil is the female reproductive part.
That's right, and flowers can be either unisexual, containing only stamens or pistils, or bisexual, containing both.
Interesting. I didn't realize that some plants like corn, papaya, and cucumber have unisexual flowers.
Exactly. And the pollen grains produced by the anthers contain the male gametes, while the ovules in the ovary contain the female gametes.
So, when the pollen lands on the stigma, it's called pollination. And if the pollen comes from a different plant, it's cross-pollination.
Precisely. And when the male and female gametes fuse, it's called fertilization, and the resulting cell is called a zygote. Seed Pispersal. Did you know that after fertilization, the ovary of a flower grows into a fruit, and the other parts of the flower fall off?
Wow, I didn't know that. So the fruit is the ripened ovary.
Exactly. And the seeds develop from the ovules inside the fruit. The seed contains an embryo protected by a seed coat.
That's really fascinating. What about the different types of fruits?
Well, some fruits are fleshy and juicy, like mangoes and oranges, while others are hard, like almonds and walnuts.
I see. And why is it important for seeds to be dispersed to different places?
If all the seeds of a plant fell in the same place, there would be intense competition for resources like sunlight, water, and minerals. Seed dispersal allows plants to grow in new habitats and prevent this competition.
Ah, that makes sense. How do seeds get dispersed?
Seeds and fruits can be carried away by wind, water, and animals. Winged seeds like drumstick and maple get blown by the wind, while some seeds have hooks that attach to animal fur.
Wow, that's really interesting. I had no idea there were so many ways seeds can travel.
Yes, it's a fascinating process. Nature has evolved these different methods of seed dispersal to ensure the survival and distribution of plant species.